Welcome, 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 everyone. And thank you for joining us for day 11 of our Pearls of Feminine Life during Women's History Month, where we are celebrating women that are powerful, encouraging, affectionate, realistic, those leaders that are sharing what they do with their community, with their family, and upholding. I have a very special guest today, Miss Sonia, coming from us way over in the UK. And I know you guys in the UK catching this are saying way over in the United States is where I am. But Sonia, welcome. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. Welcome, Andrea, and it's lovely to meet you.
You also. And so what we are doing and what I've been doing, Sonia, is recognizing these women who I call pearls, and you heard my definition of them, that are not only given to their family, but their community. So many times during Women's History Month, we pay a lot of attention to the women of the greats, the Harriet Tubmans, the ladies who have really made it to where we can be here today. But what I wanted to recognize is to understand that there are women that are close to us that have touched us, that sometimes we don't realize what we have done with that information we got from them, that we've touched other people. Mm-hmm. And there's women that are close to us, so that's why I asked for nominations. That's why one of my associates, Dion, recognized the things that you're doing in the community. And so she said that I think she would be an empowering woman because of the work she's done in the community, the recognized award she has been granted, and her life story is relatable to other women. So she saw the things that you're doing. She appreciated the things that you're doing. And so it allowed us to be able to get together.
Thank you to Dion as well.
So for those of you that are out there who don't know Sonia, who haven't had a chance to meet her, she's the managing director of Liberty House Group Services. She, as I say, she's in Birmingham, UK, and she is one of the most inspiring, respected women working in the area of social care and health since 1992. With a background in hair and beauty and creative arts, Sonia discovered a passion and an aptitude for working with people with learning disabilities, older people, people using mental health services, while she was providing creative arts and beauty therapy for people at a local residential home. So Sonia, you've worked at that home for a while. Tell me a little bit about how that came to transpire into working there, doing their hair. What happened during that time in your life?
Yeah, well, I was introduced to a residential care manager about before I opened my own home, and I was introduced in to do art and craft and massage therapy and the hair, and I just fell in love with those people. You know, it was just so different. You know, it was just like I felt a heartfelt connection, you know, as if that was my purpose. This is what I should be doing. And when I walked in, even the manager said there was a peace and a calm, you know, when we've got real challenging behavior. And I remember one particular client that used to bang his head on the wall or on the floor and spit at people. And he sat down one day and his head was swollen, and he sat down in front of me, and I just held him by his hand and started massaging his hands and his fingers. And he looked at me slowly, and then he looked back down at his hands, and he says, "What on earth are you doing? I've never felt anything like that before. I've never felt anybody touch
Everybody's always fussed at me."
Yeah. And he said, "What are you doing?" But he seemed to enjoy it. He looked up at me and he started blowing as if that was his way to say thank you, you know? And it touched my heart so much that I knew what I wanted to do. That was it. I was sold. I was sold. And like I said, it was 1998, not 1992. I think I must have made a mistake. In 1998, I opened my own care home for people with learning disabilities. Yeah.
And so I felt that even myself. So because I can see that, like when you said it, I could see the energy between the two of you. And sometimes words, as you said, his blowing can express the gratitude that someone is feeling to you. And that's partially of working with the elderly, even in those that have mental challenges. I have a soft spot for them also. And I love elderly people. I love the old cranky ones.
Yes.
Because those are the ones I like to turn around and let them know it's okay if you're upset and you want to be cranky, but let's talk about it.
Yes.
And let's figure out something else to do.
Yeah.
And so I can see how that was a passion, that passion turned into a purpose.
Yes. Yes. And that's what people normally say when you walk into the home. This is why I said I was going to change my name to Passion. Because they can feel the passion and see the passion. I go deep and I connect, especially with vulnerable people that are taken for granted. I have a soft spot for people, and I'm a spokesperson really for people who are vulnerable.
I love that. I love that. And you know, you just made me think of something from years ago. I remember I was in the 6th grade, and there was a EC class, but it had adults, and you know that they were all there, and they would come into the lunchroom, and there was rude kids that would play with them or tease them or something like that. And I remember sitting there one day and remembering that those are somebody's children.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we all are, but those are somebody's children.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment on, well, I never laughed at them when people did things. I always thought it was rude. I was just not vocal enough to be the one to stand up and say, you're stupid, leave them alone, you know, but now I am. Now I'm that person. But I started looking at things in the world differently and people differently. And then the other thing that helps touch me, people don't know a lot of, is my first daughter was disabled. She had a chromosome deficiency. She actually had a seizure and a heart attack, and she passed when before she was 8 years old. So that still kind of left me with, again, a deeper passion and understanding. I say all this to say I love what you do.
Oh, thank you.
Because it takes a special person to be able to pull in people from the communities and different areas and still continue to have that passion when they're acting out. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
So tell us about your home. Tell us about
Liberty House.
Liberty House.
Well, Liberty House has got 6 residents. They came in with moderate to severe learning disabilities. So although we say 6, you can look at it as 12, doubling up. Because of the work that was involved, you know. Like we've got people with epilepsy, people have got other conditions, you know, other severe condition, medical condition that we've worked with, autism, you know. And although it's a 6-bed, you know, God bless us to have a diverse group.
Yay.
White, Asian, and Black. And it's amazing because we learn the 3 different cultures.
Melting pot.
Yes. And we get all the foods and all the celebrations that we put on, you know. So we're always celebrating, you know.
I know that's always something to celebrate.
Eid, Christmas, you know, everything. We're always celebrating and doing things. But they've been with me since 1998, and they're
These are the
still with
same
us.
ones?
Yes, and they don't want to go. The door can't be open for anybody else to come in because nobody wants to leave.
Nobody
Once
wants
you come
to.
in, you don't want to leave.
There's one way in.
And it's got a spiritual feel. You know, we've had social workers, we've actually, Birmingham City Council asked us to host Beijing County Council as a private residential care home. They needed to pick someone from different organization, and Liberty House was chosen to host Beijing County Council. And when we saw the main man that came in, he had translators and stuff. And when he came in, he said, after he saw the home and saw what we were doing and how things were presented, he told the interpreter to tell me something. And I was like, what is it? And it's on my strapline of my website. It says, a woman that puts people before profit. And I just thought that was amazing, absolutely amazing. You know?
And that is so, that is amazing. That's all you can say, because that is such a important thing to do, especially in your line of work, but it's always hard too, because oftentimes you see people in your line of work that they're so busy trying to uphold what the government says that they forget what the people need.
Yes, definitely. You know, we also host Chicago and Germany, again, another couple of years for Birmingham City Council. They selected us and it was amazing. And even with recording her on YouTube, when a lady from Chicago talked about what she actually saw and experienced. Yes, it's a care home, but we don't make it out to be a clinical care home. We follow all regulations, but it's their home. It's their home, you know. And I would not put into that home what I wouldn't have into my own home. So my standards is very, very high. And everybody who's worked with me can see how much I value these people and what we stand for as a care home. And what I think care should be like, giving people the independency and the chance to take risk in their own life and challenges. Yes, we've got to do the red tapes. I'm looking at the moment to taking two residents to Jamaica, and I'm just getting my passport sorted because that was the wish of the dad and the family. So that's one of the things that we're going to try to achieve. So we try to achieve what they want and their aspirations and their goals. That's what we try to do. And it's, people call them my family. They're not residents, they're my family. They'll say, where's your family? What, you know, because we go everywhere together. I mean, even in they know my family personally, and we go places.
That long, yes, they do.
Yes. So yeah, we've been together, and my staff are amazing. So I haven't done this without my staff. I've got some amazing staff. The longest that I've had was a lady. She stayed with us for 22 years, and she's just retired.
And you're making me want to get a passport and come work for you.
It'll be lovely to have you whenever you're in the country, definitely.
So, and I say that because what I do in my 9-to-5 job, because I still do that and do this on the side, is I'm a family partner. So I work with families that their children have been diagnosed with mental illness and or IDD, and help them find resources. And I'm listening to you because I have a family that we have talked about finding a home for the adult child. And so I'm like, I need a place like that. So I say that to say, for families who may be having to make a decision whether they want, because because we know as mothers, we want to keep our children with us.
Yes.
But there's some times where it's feasible for that child, because they have reached adulthood, just like any other adult, to go into their old home. So for families that may be looking and they're at the threshold of that challenge, what kind of questions do they need to be asking with the places that they go to look at?
So it depends on if they wanted a small home, do they need a one-to-one, do they need more attention? So you look at the needs of the individual, is it a shared accommodation that they want, or is it supported living that they just need to have a certain amount of care being introduced just to help them to bridge that independency that they need. So we take in clients, residents, 18 to 65. And that's how long they're with us. So it's like when they starting to become an adult, making that transition. So we support people. And a lot of these homes, I personally wouldn't go for large care homes because of the attention that is needed for each individual resident, medical, physical, mental, socially. It's a lot for one person. We might not look at it, but we need that same sort of care. We need to have a social life. We need to have some time to break out. We need to look after our health and well-being. If we've got medical condition, it needs to be maintained, and somebody needs to be there to make sure that that is maintained, that it doesn't get any worse. So I would look at the capacity of the home that they're looking for first. How many people? How many staff do they have on? Does that person need a one-to-one? How many time do they reassess people? Because if they need to move on, they need to reassess them, that their needs are always met. Our 6 residents came in with challenging behavior. I mean, they're amazing now. People wouldn't believe. Some of them couldn't speak, and now they're speaking. They're calling residents' name, and it's so funny when you hear them calling. You think it's a member of staff calling another member of staff. These are people that could not speak. And, we've got facts, evidence. This is people that could not speak. And I'm so, so proud of the staff that have supported us, to make this happen. Like I said, it's not just me. I couldn't have done this without the staff, but I've got sheer dedication to what I do. I'm very committed.
So, and you mentioned your staff, and that is an intricate and important part of any organization, but definitely a social organization. How do you determine, you don't have to go into all your HR secrets, but what are some of the important things that you look for in your staff when you have to go hire?
Although we've got the HR questions and the basic questions and the basic needs and the basic training, I don't go by just the training and the qualification that the person have. I actually go by, I've got an instinct of who that person is, and I can actually feel that person, compassion. This is why we have open days as well. We do the interviews, but we also have an open day just to see how the candidates interact with the residents, and I'm always watching, I'm always observant to see if somebody would shun somebody off and it's just a show. So we have that, but my instincts are always good. I go by my instincts, and 9 times out of 10, I can tell you if that person's going to last for the trial period, or that person's going to leave suddenly, or that person's overwhelmed with what they're doing. And my deputy manager that's moved on now can tell you that 9 times out of 10, Sonia is absolutely on point. And my daughter also works. My daughter works for me. She works since she was 17. She's now 35. And she's the deputy manager. And also her instincts is just as good as mine. She'll say, I told you so.
I love that, because one of the things when I started managing, one of the things I was told by the person training me said that if you hire good people and take care of your people, they'll take care of those they serve.
Yes, I agree.
And so that's what I hear. That's what reminded me. You reminded me a whole lot of stuff that I did years ago. I don't
Because
but
we're connected.
I know. And I'm sitting here, when I read your profile and looked at it for the first time, and then again here, I'm like, okay, that's a whole lot of overlapping in there because when my kids were little and I did hair, and so I was in the beauty industry.
Okay.
And that's where I learned to, between doing hair, I tell people I prayed for patience, and God gave me a child with a disability and a cosmetology license.
Oh
At
my
the same
God.
time, and that combination will definitely give you patience.
Yes, yes. And I was speaking to somebody last week and they did art and design and ended up in care. And I said, there's something about that artistic, that creative side of us that connects us with vulnerable people, with people.
Mhm.
There must be something within the creative side
That does,
of
yeah,
someone that pulls you and warm you to being, a servant of God for other people.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is the key,
Yeah.
is the understanding that you're a servant of God and that you're here to serve other people.
Yes. I believe so. I believe I'm here to serve other people. No matter
And
what.
so,
Yeah.
go
No matter
ahead.
how much they hurt.
Yes,
There's that I'm at the lesson of forgiveness. At the moment.
I love it. I love it. So one of the other things, and Dion had put it in her description, was that in 2018 you were awarded a BEM, the British Empire Medal, for your work in the community. Tell me
Yeah.
about that.
Well, on top of the care home, I registered a social enterprise. It's
Mm-hmm.
called Community Flow. And that was something that I wanted. It reminded me, what I looked at is like a river, and everybody's just so slowly just in that river flowing and holding on hands together. So it's a community flow, whatever happens, we're flowing together. And I applied for the lottery fund 3 times and was awarded it 3 times. So where the care home is, it's got a massive garden. So just before COVID, we had 600 people attend our event. And you can find that on YouTube, Community Flow. And you can see some of the event that we put on. So we brought the community in, which was very, very diverse. We had children dancing on stage from the local church. We had an Asian community. They came in and the kids did a dance as well. And we had African drumming. We had steel band. We had live shows. And we also have food stalls, well-being stalls. And it was amazing. And even with the local MP in our area, they came along, the Lord Mayor came along. And that's the thing that I'm doing at the moment. COVID sort of put a damper on it. We've been doing that for the last sort of like 8 years consistently. And then COVID came. But what I'm intending to do now is to redevelop that for this year, this summer. We did it in October, but the turnout was brilliant, but it wasn't here at the home. But I want to bring it back to the home because everybody loved the garden and the intimacy that we have. And it's a free entry. So if everybody wants a hot drink or anything, that's free. They just come in. But food is on sale for the stall holders because I don't operate the stalls themselves. But at least there's somewhere where people can make connection with other people and spend some time listening to wonderful music and stuff. So yes, it was someone saw me on Facebook and nominated me for one of the Queen's Award, which was amazing. And I appreciate the person that did that as well.
That is amazing. It is. And it just goes to show that when you put the people first, somebody notices
Mm.
and you don't even recognize that they're noticing, you know?
Oh,
And so that's what this whole month is about. To me, that's what Women's History Month is about. It's about seeing those that are working from the heart, not for the accolades,
yes.
but for the better of their family, their community, themselves.
Mm.
And understanding that no, I put myself first into enough to where I can continue to serve, but just the holistic approach of that service attitude. That's what I think Women's History Month is about. So
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing.
I love it. So you're on social media. I heard you say YouTube. How else can people get in touch with you?
I'm on Facebook as Sonia Parnell. Also, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not on Instagram. Well, Liberty House is on Instagram, but I'm not on Instagram. Um, and yeah, the YouTube channel. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I know the care home. If they wanted to see the care home, I think the care home is on all the platforms that are out there. But I personally, I'm not on all the platforms. I'm mainly on LinkedIn that you can find.
LinkedIn mostly.
Yeah.
Well, there's no sense in them looking at your care home because you've got those slots all just tied up.
I think we've got a waiting list as long as my arm.
How many people have asked you, and have you thought of opening a second one?
Well, I'm speaking from the second one as we speak right now. It's a supported living project,
Okay.
but I haven't let out all the rooms. There's one room that one person has got learning disabilities, but mild. That person works and do their own thing, and I've got their own carer, so it's just a one room rental at the moment. But there's another 5 bedrooms that I'm looking at bridging the gap from people who's got severe learning disabilities that have developed so well that they can bridge that little gap to the community. So all they need now is probably a couple of hours that they can have that support. But saying that, unfortunately, our residents in the main home haven't got to that level. But what we're trying to do is modernize that care home around them, that it can feel like supported living, so they can have all their facilities in their bedroom around them. When I said like facilities, ensuite and everything else, but this was more or less purpose built with full ensuites. We've got 2 studios, so they've got full ensuite and kitchenette.
Okay.
The rest of the place is shared, but we've also got visitors toilet. I'm actually sitting in the lounge area at the moment.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, wonderful. So for someone who may be thinking of opening up their own facility, working with their community, what would you tell them?
Come and see Sonia Parnell at consultancyservice.com.
Hey, that's what, there we go. And the world now knows.
That's a side of me that I'm trying to develop. I'm developing that because I'm having people from all over the world asking me about how do you go about it, and it's another angle that I'm looking at, developing something. Even at my dad just had a stroke, and I had the physio came in, and she was asking us what we do. She's been trying to open a home for 3 years, so she's got my number and she's coming to have coffee with me. So yeah.
So with those people who do want to open and they do want to sit and pick your brain, and your brain is worth a whole lot. So how do they reach you?
LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah, LinkedIn is where I start, and then I develop it further. because what I don't want to be doing is being bombarded by a lot of emails and everything else, and then not seeing that it's something that I can do. So LinkedIn, if they find me on LinkedIn, it's Sonia Parnell / Thompson. I'm eventually is going to remove the Parnell. It's going to go back to my maiden name, which is Thompson. But you know, they know I'm well known within the industry and my business on the Parnell. So if they wanted to find me, just go on LinkedIn and they'll find me there, and they can send me a message, and then we can start from there. Then I'll see whether or not it's something viable that I can give out my email, because I get bombarded every day. I get up every morning and empty my emails and stuff, because I get bombarded by government letters and all sorts of stuff, and sometimes you have to filter through a lot of them before. So LinkedIn is where I speak to somebody who's serious about doing something.
So, you know, sounds great. Sounds great. So as we wrap this up, is there anything you want to leave the community with, or anything else you'd like to share?
One of the things that I found within doing connecting with women, which I used to find very difficult, because I think sometimes we judge each other for the wrong reason. And instead of connecting with each other and supporting each other, we judge each other. And that's something that I find is very difficult. And instead of following your dream, you're following mine. Now, we all got individual dreams. And sometimes we find it difficult that things are not working out for us. And reason being is that you're following somebody else's dream. Just be still and follow your own dreams. Follow your passion and what your heart say. Don't worry about what's going on around you and how fast somebody else is moving, because it's just not your train. Don't get on it. It's not for you. Just wait. And when the time is right, your turn will come. Whatever your passion is, stick to it, and your purpose. Yeah, it's no use saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be an author. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this. It won't work if it's not for you. Trust me. God has already got a plan for you, and he knows what he wants you to do. I thought I was going to end up in a hair salon doing all sorts of stuff, but look where I ended up in a care home, which is completely different. I mean, I'm a hands-on manager. And when I say hands-on, the girls can tell you that I'm hands-on. No matter what it is, I will do it, you know? I'm just in there because I don't like the fapping and messing around. I'm just hands-on. It doesn't matter what I'm wearing, Versace shoes, Imani, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing. It can wash. It doesn't matter. Just get in there. Listen, you look so glamorous and you're going to go into that? Yes, I am, because, you know, what else can I do? Yeah, that's what I do, you know? And I just love when people are just themselves. Just be yourself and not try to be somebody else and impersonate somebody else. Just be you, because we're all who we're supposed to be already. We just have to find that person within you.
Thank you for that. And that is so important. And I'm glad you shared that, because I have to constantly remind myself of that. I know there's somebody out there that needs to hear that. And that whole concept is important. And I thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I thank you again for joining us and being a pearl, being that powerful, encouraging, affectionate, realistic leader that continue to share with her family, her community, and those that you serve. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Lovely meeting you, Andrea. You
too. And for those of you that are out there that may be watching us, if you have some comments, put them in the comment section. We've talked about how you can get in touch with Sonia. Also, just a reminder that if you are that woman and you're trying to decide how to put all your pieces together, and you're trying to build your own empowerment program, I have empowerment, the top 7 steps to launching your own empowerment program coming up April 5th. I'll drop the link in the comment section. Or if you're thinking of getting in the service industry and you're looking to open a home, connect with Sonia on LinkedIn. And we appreciate all that you do and being a pearl of feminine life. Until we meet again, I pray that you have hope, harmony, and happiness in your life. Bye for now.